Welcome to this edition of the BBB Insider. I'm Tierney Chatfield, and today we're going to talk with our past Eclipse Integrity Award winner and Torch Award honoree. Our guests today are Nancy Hussong from Wright-Patt Credit Union and Frank Detmer of Detmer and Sons. Welcome, you guys.
Hello.
Thank you.
And our host with the most is none other than BBB President and CEO John North.
I really want to figure out what the most is. I love your shirt.
We
You love it
shouldn't.
too. This is like the second time in a row you've worn that shirt.
It's my favorite shirt.
I know,
It's
it
the
looks
BBB.
really good.
It's pink.
How do you like
I
mine?
love it.
We can drive the guys in the control room crazy, moving back and forth with
Exactly.
the stripes there.
We'll play checkers.
You know, we should have gotten better coaching on wardrobe.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slowly but surely.
we're-
Is that why I have the most?
No, we won't discuss the most.
Thank you all for joining us again. If you're joining us for the first time, we are with your Better Business Bureau. We are charged with creating a fair and ethical and maintaining a fair and ethical marketplace all across North America, and we've got our own little corner of the world right here in the Miami Valley. I'm really excited about today's show because we're talking to winners of our Eclipse Integrity Awards and also our Torch Award, and they've got some great information to share with us. We've got some exciting things. We've already kind of opened it up there in the beginning and got everything loosened up. These, I think, I don't want to build expectations of our viewers, but I think this is going to be a pretty good show.
I've got my fingers
that's
crossed.
Right. I mean, they've got some great well, one has a great personality, the other's just kind of a character.
Right. Yeah, we haven't figured him yet.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But both been a part of your Better Business Bureau for a good long time, and we appreciate all of their efforts in this community. And we're excited to have them and to share their story with you. First, we have Nancy Hussong, and Nancy is from Wright-Patt Credit Union, and she is the fourth recipient. Their organization is the third or fourth recipient of our BBB Eclipse Integrity Torch Award.
Yes.
So Nancy, thank you for being here. We've worked with Doug and Tracy in the past, and they've been great sports and doing a great job carrying our torch very high in this community. So thank you for filling in and coming to talk with us today.
Thank you.
So I'm going to put you on the spot right from the beginning.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the history of Wright-Patt Credit Union?
I'd be happy to. Thank you. It all started in an economic time very similar to what we're dealing with today. A lot going on back in the 30s where there was no unemployment to support folks that were having difficulties, and there were no support agencies. And a group of federal employees at Wright Field, which is now Wright-Patt Air Force Base, came together to help a coworker who had fallen on some difficult times. And they started what was called the Sunshine Fund, each contributing a nickel a pay period in order to help support their coworker, to put food on the table, support the family, and that type of thing. The monies were kept in a shoebox. It was retained in the nurse's office, and once that coworker returned to work, it continued. So with 7, 11 people, something like that, we started what we know today as Wright-Patt Credit Union. 1932 is when the inception of the credit union began, and it was all about helping people, which we continue to do today. It's all about the people.
All right. Do you still have that shoebox? Do you still keep all the money in the shoebox?
Yours. We have all of yours there.
Perfect. I told you that there was some personality on today's show. All right. Well, why don't you tell us about the services that Wright-Patt can provide to Miami Valley consumers?
Thank you. Well, we offer traditional financial products that the other institutions offer, the products such as the savings and the draft account and that type of thing. All of our products and services are created in order to make a difference with our members. We want to be able to help them. We're community-based, so as we make our decisions on our products and services, it's how we can help the Miami Valley retain their hard-earned money in their pocket, not continue to nickel and dime them, take their monies away from them. So we can offer the same products and services, as I said, that other financial institutions do. We just hope to do it with the bottom line of the focus on the people and providing to them their needs.
Okay. This last year, Wright-Patt Credit Union was actually mentioned in a lot of different recognitions. I remember you all were a contender for a Dayton Business Journal
Yes.
opportunity. What was the Dayton Business Journal? Do you remember what the...
You know,
Tierney, do you remember what
Help
that
me.
was?
Top list of
Yes, something
credit
like that.
unions.
No, that
No.
wasn't. You
No, it
lost
wasn't because it
Oh,
came down
wait,
against
brand
Standard
recognition
Register.
of Dayton.
It was brand. That's exactly
Yes,
right, and it
and
came down between Standard Register and ourselves.
That's right,
Yes,
and
yes.
interestingly enough, in our process, it came down to, for our Torch Award, we have a volunteer group of individuals that come in and review information on each of the organizations, and Wright-Patt and Standard Register were our, again, the top two, and our committee had to make some tough decisions, but Wright-Patt came out on top, and they were this year's recipient of our Torch Award. Tell us what that means to your organization, what integrity means to your organization.
Well, we're very proud and we're very honored to have been recognized by the Better Business Bureau and to have received the award. We measure our success not by our bottom dollar, not by how many members we have or how many dollars we're making. We're looking at how we can help people, how many people we've made a difference in their lives. And we feel that by having the integrity that we've been recognized for, it allows us to do that and to continue to do that. Because again, our decisions are based off our three-stakeholder model, one of which is our members. They're our owners of Wright-Patt Credit Union. So integrity to us is doing the right thing for the people, for the community, for our partners, which are our employees, and for the organization as a whole.
Okay. Well, you've got a huge presence here in the Miami Valley. If not for the Miami Valley, you wouldn't exist, because that's what you exist for.
Absolutely.
Is the Miami Valley. Tell us a little bit about your footprint here in the Miami Valley.
Well, we are in 8 counties. The most recently added was Hamilton. So we do serve the Miami Valley area. And you're going to try to get me to name those 8, I'll bet.
No, I would never do that.
Clinton, Champaign.
Oh, look at that. This is good. She's taking up time.
good.
Go ahead, finish
Montgomery, Greene County, Warren County, Hamilton.
Well, how many credit unions do you know?
Our member centers?
Yeah.
We have 25. And then as of the first of the year, we're going to be opening our 26th in Springboro.
Okay, great. So Hamilton County,
We just added.
Okay.
Yes. So we've been doing some things with dealers down there, and now we've just expanded our footprint so that members can become eligible to participate with Wright-Patt Credit Union.
Okay, all right. Well, we talked about integrity.
Yes.
We've talked about the number of places that you have throughout the Miami Valley and even beyond. If Tierney would walk into one of your member centers, is that what we said?
It's one of
your member centers. How would we see integrity in action in your employees and what's going on in those member centers?
I would think you would see it. Our intent is that how you are greeted and welcomed into the credit union. And it's not a matter of just walking into a cold building. It's a matter of they are built, to me, as a welcoming unit, and that we want people to come in and be comfortable. Because not everybody is comfortable talking about their finances or asking difficult questions or even acknowledging that they have some problems. And so hopefully we've created that type of environment. Our partners, who are our employees, their drive is to do what's right for the members as they come in. And we will certainly make every effort to do what's right by our members as they walk in. And if they have some challenges that perhaps financially we can't help them, our goal is to help coach them and give them some ideas of what they might do if they need to improve their financial situation. And I think that's a difference. It's not a matter of let's get these products to this person because we have this goal to make. It's a matter of what's genuinely right for the person sitting in front of me.
Great. What's your role at Wright-Patt?
I'm a regional director. I have 13 of the member centers up in the north area and east of Dayton that I work with.
Okay. And I'm sure that you had a lot of mentors and a lot of things that got you to where you are today. What's the best piece of advice that you received from a mentor?
That's a really interesting question to me because I think of a lot of the different influences I've had, and everything that I think back on, it goes back to people. And if you do right by people, whether it be the employees that you're working with or the members that you're working with, you will benefit. And I feel that I, as a manager, benefit from that, as well as the credit union, because we do the right things by people. And that doesn't always mean saying yes to somebody. It may be having a difficult conversation, telling a member we can't do something, or a partner what we're not able to do, but here's what we can do.
Yeah, I remember one of the stories from the Torture Ward video was a lady, we went over to one of the member centers,
Yes.
and we did some interviews with customers, with partners. And one of the stories that she shared is someone had a great experience at Wright-Patt Credit Union. It was awesome. They wanted to consolidate and move a car loan over to Wright-Patt Credit Union. And as she was looking at with the deal that they had, I think it was like 0%, and Wright-Patt, couldn't match that, and really worked with the consumer to understand that it's probably best to
That's right.
To stay where they're at. So. That was one of the stories that I remember from there.
We do want our members to keep their hard-earned money in their pocket. They've worked hard for it. We've all worked hard, and if we can help them do that, then we've been successful.
Right. And you've got people on the other side, though, that would like to get some of your members' hard-earned money, and I'm talking about scam artists,
Yes.
people writing bogus checks, foreign lotteries, secret shopping opportunities, or just a few, and you can elaborate on those. But what are some of those scams in your industry?
Well, we are seeing a rising trend on scams. One of them you just mentioned are the scams that are going on with counterfeit cashier's checks, the lottery, and if you haven't entered a lottery, you can't win. If you haven't applied for a job online, you're not employed. And if somebody is contacting you to say, here's a check, you don't know who that person is and they want part of it back, it's a scam. Another thing that we're seeing is members receiving text messages that they have won a prize. And then within that text message, it's here's what you need to do to collect your funds. And it typically includes providing personal information. And we are the best preventers, we as individuals, of these scams. Know who we're dealing with. Do not provide the personal information, because there's a lot of people out there trying to get our hard-earned money.
That's right. Your organization has been BBB accredited for a number of years. Tell our viewers what that accreditation means to you and your organization.
It's a stamp of approval. We feel that as an organization we have met the high standards of the Better Business Bureau, and we want to align ourselves with organizations such as that because of the integrity and wanting to do right by people, and we think it's a great partnership and just proud to be a part of it.
That's great. Well, we appreciate that as well, and we appreciate the partnership. So that was Nancy. Nancy is the personality, and now we're going to bring in the character to the show. And I do mean character with all due respect.
Now we'll
let
the audience make their own judgment.
There you go. Frank, thanks for being on the show. Frank was the recipient, Frank's organization, Detmer & Sons, Inc., was the recipient of this year's Eclipse Integrity Award for our largest business category.
Correct.
This wasn't the first time that your organization won this award.
No, it was not. We actually won it in 1998, I believe it was.
Okay.
It was a little bit of a different setup at the time. There was just one category as far as breaking it down. At the time when we won it in '98, we were, I believe, 14 employees at the time, working out of a very small building, and just this year in winning it, I think was even more exciting for us because we're obviously a larger company now with more than one location and about 65 employees. And I think sometimes the concern is, from an integrity standpoint, do you get too big? Do customers get concerned about becoming a number rather than a person? And we worry about that a lot, trying to maintain that, what we call the hometown feeling. So it was really great to be recognized. We felt it was recognition that we were still doing our job. In order that we've grown, 4 or 5 times the size we were from when we originally won the award. But obviously, to keep that integrity like that, we're still doing the small things correctly. So we considered it a very big accomplishment for us.
It was. We were very proud of you. Let's take it back a little bit further. Tell us about Detmer & Sons and its beginnings and how it's grown today.
Detmer & Sons was started in November of 1978. My father and I started it. I was working for a local heating and air conditioning contractor. My father actually had been in the business for about 25 years on the other side of things as a distributor, represented an equipment manufacturer. And we had been talking for a while about getting together and starting our own business and doing our own thing. And that happened in November of 1978. It was my father and I and one other employee for about the first probably 2 years, I guess. We operated out of a little tiny storefront on the front of my parents' home that used to be a corner grocery that, you know, as we all know, corner groceries have kind of gone to the wayside now, and just kind of maintained steady growth from that point on to where we are today.
Right. So you were the son, not the Detmer at that time.
I was, when people ask, I tell them I was both. Okay. I was the Detmer and the son.
Right.
And of course now I have two of my own sons in the business. And my oldest son pretty much runs the day-to-day operations. My youngest son runs our commercial service division. Okay. And according to them, I just take up an office, and they're working me towards the door, unfortunately.
As it should be. As long as those paychecks continue to come in. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned a couple of different services that you provide. Can you tell us a little bit about the scope of service of Detmer & Sons?
Absolutely. We provide heating, air conditioning, both from a service and an installation standpoint. We do air duct cleaning. We have our own sheet metal shop. We do sheet metal fabrication. We do it both residentially and commercially. And we have a residential install and service division, a commercial install and service division. And we've expanded to the point where one of the advantages we have over a lot of the companies in town is our diversity in what we do, and that is we'll work on just about anything that's out there. A lot of companies can be select, and there's a few items that they'll work on, a lot of things they won't. We'll take care of just about any needs you have, whether it's a boiler, whether it's oil heating, whether it's heat pumps, whether it's rooftops, whatever it might be. Geothermal systems we service and install, which is the latest hot button item in our industry. So our thing is the fact that we diversified to pretty much handle just about anything a customer might have.
Okay, great. As a two-time Integrity Award winner, Eclipse Integrity Award winner, tell us what integrity means to you.
Integrity is huge to us and to our industry. We deal with the customer constantly, and the customer does not come to us. We go to the customer. We still make house calls. So that makes integrity a much larger issue, I feel, because when you've got someone showing up at your home or your business, you've got to be very comfortable with the fact that you're letting someone in the door into your personal space, so to speak. You've got to be very comfortable with that person. So integrity is huge in our business. And I think, John, you and I think, have talked about it before. Unfortunately, our industry, the heating and air conditioning industry, has some black eyes from time to time. You know, there are some not so above board people out there. So it makes it even harder sometimes for an honest business in that industry. You're constantly striving to maintain that integrity.
Yeah. And what would integrity, if we saw one of your trucks out here and going into a house, what would integrity look like?
Integrity would look like a clean-cut young man or young lady in a uniform with a photo ID badge on. That employee has been drug tested, has been background checked. Training is a huge part of our business. Just about 2 years ago, we expanded and put our own training facility in. We felt it was important enough that we needed our own facility on site to do this. You'll find our trucks detailed. They're inspected regularly by our people. They're kept clean on the inside and out. Our trucks are replaced. Years ago, you had a truck and you ran it till you just couldn't get anything else out of it. You know, you put the miles on it. We don't operate that way anymore. Our trucks are rotated through about every 2 years or so because they're moving billboards. and they're a direct reflection on your company. If you pull up at a traffic light next to one of my vehicles and it's rusting away and it's dirty and there's 4 days worth of lunch sacks piled up on the dashboard, that doesn't give the right image. So we're across the board. Like I said, integrity is huge for us.
Okay. As you're telling your sons that you don't need that rocking chair yet, you are the most senior member of our panel here today. I asked Nancy what advice she had gotten that served her well. I'm going to ask you a little bit different. I'm going to ask you to give us some business advice. What's the best piece of business advice you could give us and our consumers?
The best piece of advice I could give you came from my father, who we started our business in 1978 and immediately went into a very bad time from the economy standpoint, a big recession going on. Most businesses struggled to survive, let alone one that was just starting. To this day, I feel that it was my father's business expertise that got us through that time and allowed us to get to where we are. And his philosophy was very simple. You have to be fair and you have to be honest. And the being fair part is fairly simple to do. You build on a reputation and it becomes a day-to-day thing. Being honest sometimes can be difficult because we deal constantly. We'll run several hundred service calls a day. You're delivering bad news to people a lot of times. It's not always something they want to hear, but it's what they need to hear. So from that standpoint, being honest with customers all the time isn't so easy. But those are the two simple, basic things we try to do. Be fair and be honest with the customer.
That's right. Perfect setup for my next question. And some of the organizations out there, or the scam artists out there, doing less than a legitimate business or just flat out trying to scam people. What are some of the big ones in your industry?
I think a couple of things are important. People need to make sure they can check with the BBB, which is an absolutely great resource for them, because you guys are on top of all that and have all the latest facts on the companies. They need to make sure they're dealing with a licensed contractor. That's required by law, but yet probably half of them out there operating aren't. The biggest scam is kind of a generalization thing, and I think it goes back to a simple thing. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You'll see a lot of times things advertised where if you buy a furnace, you get a free air conditioner. That sounds too good to be true, and it is. I've been doing this for 35 years now, I think. I've dealt with most of the manufacturers. They don't give equipment away. So you're paying for it somehow. It's not free. You'll see things advertised for a $19 service call or something along that lines. In this day and age, it's not possible for someone to get in a vehicle and drive to your house and only charge you $19 to check your furnace or air conditioner. Something else is going on there. They've got to make up money somewhere else. So as a general rule, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. They need to check around a little bit with, if they talk to 4 companies and 4 of them are at this price range and all of a sudden you've got one way down here, you've got to draw a connection there,
What about duct cleaning? That was one of the big ones that I see that companies are offering it for $19 or $59.
Yeah, and again, there's something else to that. Our duct cleaning truck is a huge truck. You're putting 2 guys in a vehicle, you're sending them out in a huge truck to a customer's house that a truck that gets about 2 miles to a gallon of gas with gas at $4 a gallon. Common sense tells you they can't show up at your house and do a 3-hour job and only charge you $29. They're going to try and get you with other things. Again, it comes back to the same thing. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
All right. Great. I'm just going to refer to you all as the personality and the character on today's show. It was very good information, very informative. Thank you both for being here. And now, Tierney has a few closing remarks.
I do. We're going to talk about some of our upcoming events that we've always got something going on at the BBB. On September the 20th, we are hosting our annual Institute for Business Integrity breakfast panel. And that's going to feature our guests today, our past Eclipse Integrity Award winners and Torch honoree. That's going to be September 20th. It's a breakfast at Irvin J. Nutter Center in the Berry Room, so we look forward to having you there. Also that evening, we'll have our BBB networking event. We're partnering with the Dayton Hispanic Chamber. That's from 5:30 to 7:30 at Sinclair Community College, and that's in Building 12. Also, on October 16th, we will have a Service with Integrity breakfast panel. That's going to be at MCL Restaurant and Bakery in Kettering. We look forward to having our professionals in the industries tell us how they provide service with integrity. So we invite you to those and other events, and you can find out more on our website at www.dayton.bbb.org, or you can call us 937-222-5825 or toll free 1-800-776-5301.
So, if you want to see the personality and the character live and in person, come out to Wright State University Nutter Center. You guys maybe signing autographs or something like that.
That's right.
Have 8x10 glossies with us.
Yeah, it'll be like a book signing.
There you go.
I wouldn't expect a real long line at that table.
Well,
I
you
don't
never
think.
know. Your family.
College
family.
kids.
My wife
Right.
and grandkids, and I think my wife would just be because she was driving the grandkids over. So.
Yeah, 'cause
To hang out with.
out of
Granddad.
obligation.
That's right.
Okay, well, we've got some exciting things coming up. You know, home improvement is a big thing, and you certainly have products and services there at Wright-Patt waiting for members to come and hang out with you and find out more information. And sometimes a good air conditioning, a good furnace unit costs a little bit of money. Is that something that qualifies for a home improvement
I
loan?
think we might be able to work something out.
All right.
Yeah.
That
They're
sounds
so
good.
There's
flexible.
another reason to come see Nancy and I out at Wright State.
That's right.
There you go. Well, again, thank you both
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank
you for standing with us for trust and integrity in this marketplace. Keep up the great work that you're doing for Miami Valley residents. And thank you for joining us yet again, inviting us into your home. I'm John North with Tierney Chatfield from Your Better Business Bureau, and we will see you next time. Thank you.